Oh, what a day. What a lovely day. Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on Mad Max Fury Road. So, Mad Max Fury Road is the fourth installment in the Mad Max franchise, and it's basically a legacy sequel to the original Mad Max trilogy, and it's directed once again by George Miller, and it came out in the year 2015, which is not one of my favorite years for movies, but it is a pretty solid year. And it stars not Mel Gibson this time, but it stars Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult, Hugh Case, Brian, Josh Hellman, Nathan Jones, Zoe Kravitz, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, Riley Kilv, Abby Lee, Courtney Eaton, John Howard, Richard Carter, etc. And so, Mad Max Fury Road tells a story where taking place in once again in the apocalyptic wasteland where humanity is broken, and then we see Max getting kidnapped and caged by a bunch of these creepy ass villains led by Immortan Joe and so they must go on the road to find a home. Yeah, well, specifically at first, their goal is to get water, and yeah, one of their goals for this mission is to fight for the water in order to save land. But then Max discovers Furiosa and a bunch of other girls who are trying to get home, and so yeah, Max helps them get home while facing off against these bike gangs. So yeah, there actually isn't much of a plot to this. Not a bad thing though, obviously. But I think everyone knows that Mad Max Fury Road isn't even a plot-driven movie to begin with. So yeah, now, yeah, finally, yeah, I get to talk about this movie. Yeah, I'm sure you all know how I feel about the original trilogy. I am not really a massive Mad Max fan, because if I did, I would have actually liked Mad Max 1 and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, but nope, I could not get into both movies. Mad Max 1 in particular was just boring, and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is... I mean, I don't even know if I would actually like it in the first place, because, let's be real here, Beyond Thunderdome wasn't even a well-made film, so yeah, it wasn't even that well-made of a film to begin with, so we haven't gotten a Mad Max film after that yet. The last Mad Max film before this one came out in 1985, and so we didn't have a Mad Max film in the 90s and 2000s, so yeah, we thought that Mad Max was done for. So yeah, but 30 years later, we actually got a Mad Max movie. Yeah, based on what modern Hollywood is like nowadays, what modern movies are like, you'd think that that this would actually be a reboot, but no, it is actually a sequel. A sequel, yeah. Recasted they recasted Mel Gibson with Tom Hardy as Mad Max, and there were some people who actually had a problem with that. Now, I had no idea what the internet was like back then, but I heard from a few people I saw in a few websites and comments that there were a few people who actually didn't like that they recasted Mel Gibson with Tom Hardy as Mad Max. Yeah, some people just didn't really like that. They say that they thought that it was only Mel Gibson who could play Mad Max just because he's the original. Although most people were actually on board with this one in the first place, even recasting. Although, and yes, there were some people who were actually on board with Tom Hardy's, from what I've heard. This is based on what I've heard. I don't know how people responded to this back then, but I find it quite unfair that most people are okay with Tom Hardy, with Mel Gibson getting recasted with Tom Hardy as Mad Max. But when it comes to Charlize Theron getting recasted with Anya Taylor-Joy for Furiosa, people just have a problem with it. I don't get it. yeah, people probably just hate on hot and young women. Yeah, they just want women to be old and not sexy in order for them to like a woman, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going against women who don't look hot. I mean, I don't want to judge anyone's looks. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, Fury. Now, I saw this film for the very first time in 2015. No, I did not see this one in theaters because I was only 11 years old. I was too young to watch R-rated movies. Oh, despite I did see, I did already see R-rated movies at that time, just not in theaters. I saw like Kick-Ass movies at that time and Kingsman, and John Wick at the time, but all at home. And a year later, I saw Deadpool, but at home. So I was actually allowed to watch R-rated movies back then, just not theaters because theaters wouldn't accept me. But man, I always loved this movie. I fell in love with this movie the first time. Now I didn't really call this among my favorite movies of 2015. You know, on the same level as some blockbusters. You know, I had a different mindset in 2011. As much as I love this movie, I thought that there were better movies in 2015. So this wasn't like in my top five. But the year where I actually started falling in love with this movie, where I started realizing that this is actually the best movie 2015 and one of the best action movies of all time, is in 2018. The year where I discovered Chris Stuckman. And his review for Mad Max Fury Road, it really got me to actually get interested in rewatching this movie again, because yeah, back then I only watched this movie once, but I didn't really get around to rewatching it, and so now I rewatched it. No, at the time, and I rewatched it a couple of other times. I guess like not that many times, but I did rewatch it whenever I just wanted to, and yeah, I rewatched this. So yeah, I rewatched this movie again. Well, of course I would. Oh yeah, another reason why I actually rewatched this movie, not only because of Chris Stuckman's review, but because I actually this movie was added on Netflix. Yeah, in 2018, I think it was early 2019 when this was added on Netflix or whatever. Yeah, this movie was added on Netflix. And it's always been on Netflix. Like even now, even today, it's still on Netflix. So when when a movie that isn't made on Netflix stays on Netflix for years to come, you know how good it is. And yes, I rewatched the movie on Netflix. I wonder if this movie's on Netflix in the US, but in my country, yes, this movie is on Netflix. So yeah, well, I rewatched this movie, and I gotta say, this movie is a freaking masterpiece. This movie was awesome. It was so good. I cannot believe how excited I am to. Yeah, you know what I referenced there. You know it. Yeah, you know it. Yeah, I think I got a few words wrong, but okay, whatever. Yeah, but bottom line is, Mad Max Fury Road is amazing. Like it's an incredible masterpiece of an action film, and this movie is one of the examples of why action is my favorite genre ever, and I am not apologizing for that. I can't believe that people just hate action movies. I mean, action movies are my source of fun. Yeah, people just think that I hate action. I hate I don't have fun with harmless, inoffensive, animated, non-Disney movies. Some people just claim that I hate fun, but this movie is a perfect example. Yeah, I've said this one, and I'm gonna say it again. Action movies are my kind of fun. Just accept that. It's kind of a shame that there are actually some people who hate this movie and call it overrated. You know why? Because people only like this movie because it's fun and so much action, but they're forgetting about story characters. Oh, there's no story, it's just all action. Bad movie. Yeah. I'm sorry, but you all seriously need, like, can't you just enjoy this movie for what it is? This is what movies are for, to and to be entertained, to enjoy, well, also to an extent be insightful. Yeah, I mean, not every movie has to be deep and insightful. You don't need that. Sometimes you can have a movie like Fury Road and still be a masterpiece. And to me personally, Fury Road is just a all around a perfect movie. Yeah, there is genuinely nothing to complain about. Everything about this movie is just done to perfection. This is without question the best Mad Max movie. Well, yeah, I mean, out of the four Mad Max movies, this one is obviously the best. The OG movies don't come close. Not even the Road Warrior does. And honestly, guys, I'm gonna say this right now. This is now officially my favorite movie of 2015. Yeah, sorry, when Marnie was there. I still love when Marnie was there. I think it's one of the most underrated animated films ever. And it will always be my favorite animated film in 2015. But let's be real here. Mad Max Fury Road came out the same year. And you can't deny this is the best movie of its respective year. Yeah, I mean, even though everyone knows why this movie is so good, I'm just going to point out. I'm just going to point out, everything I love about this, no matter if people already said it, because it deserves to be talked about. It's that good. So yeah, first of all, this is a non-stop action movie. Like, this is a movie that critics could have easily panned. Like, it seems like critics wouldn't like this movie because it's an action movie with very little plot and character development. But it's good when this movie actually is able to, when even critics would fanboy over this movie. Yeah, even Chris Tuckman was like so over exaggerated. He was like, he literally threw his critical mind away in his review and then would just straight up fanboy like, yeah, Mad Max Fury Road, yeah. He usually that throughout his review of Mad Max Fury Road, and that's what I love. I mean, yeah, sure, I'll admit, as a film critic myself, as a cinephile myself, I do appreciate movies that try to be like story driven, plot driven, that isn't fun, but in a good way that is very deep and insightful. But like what I said, you gotta have movies like Fury Road sometimes. Like, we need more movies like this. Yeah, and oh my golly, the action scenes in this movie are absolutely mind blowing. This is some of the best crafted action I have ever seen put to an action film. It is filled to the brim with, yeah, maybe it can be very cheesy and ridiculous, but it really embraces that. It is, and the ridiculousness, it's easy to ignore when it's actually so well crafted. The way the action scenes are directed and shot, they're gorgeous. I mean, it's freaking George Miller. I mean, George Miller is actually the real star of these Mad Max movies. So I don't know why people are complaining about Furiosa when it's literally directed by George Miller. But seriously, everything about the action scenes, though, and the way it was shot. Now, I get why people say action movies are all shaky cam nowadays, but yeah, but it's good when the camera is actually steady. It very steadily focuses on the camera is very steady and yet it's gorgeous. The shots, the different angles, whether it's far, it's back, it's the side, it's low angle, like any angle, it's like it fits so well into the action scenes It's just great, and man, the stunts in this movie it's badass. Like, it's badass. I mean, you have some really cool, like what I said, that yes, they are ridiculous, but they're just so cool. Like, for example, this guy playing a guitar, and just shooting fire out of a rock guitar, and then just throwing flames at people with the guitar on fire. That is cool, right? And that is so cool. Yeah, and yeah, action scene in the beginning, that chase scene, yeah, once that kicks in, you already know you're in for a mind blowing experience, and it just does not stop there. And even there even is smaller fights within the big fights. You know, like when Max and Furiosa discovered each other, and then they both fought each other since they didn't know each other. Yeah, that was so cool. And yeah, I'll talk about performances later. Oh yeah, and also the final battle. There's even that. Oh, not well, the final battle later, the night battle as well. The battle at night with all the motorcycles going up and down the slopes of tiny, whatever that is. That's really cool as well. And and man, the final battle, which is easily the best part, where they actually fight against the villains, the actual antagonist of the movie. Yeah, I mean, and you want to know what my favorite scene in the film actually is? It's that scene where it's a scene where like literally Furiosa puts this chain thingy on Immortan Joe, and like they both go head to head, and Furiosa's like, "Remember me," and then she literally rips the hell out of Immortan Joe's mask, and we see, yeah, his face get crushed. Man, that is brutal. And did I mention as well that this movie is also brutal? Yeah, it is just beyond brutal, and it's R rating as well this year. It's not as hard R as you expect, but I mean those brutal scenes alone, it definitely earns its R rating. But yeah, and also one of the highlights of this film is the score from Junkie XL. You know, with the dun 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 dun. Yeah, like it's just so memorable. I heard that Furiosa is going to be like reusing these scores, like making something like a, what do you call that? Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, something like that. Remix, yeah, remix. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, it's that, yes, and I can't wait to hear Furiosa's score. But yeah, Junkie XL's score is just it's just, man, and also even like beyond the action, yeah, the movie isn't just action. Yes, it is a film with it is a movie that's filled to the brim with non-stop action, but there are there is some great stuff as well. Even like in like 2 to 5 minutes of scenes that are just breathing from action. People say that there are some people who say that the movie doesn't have any breathing in them. That's not true at all. Like there are scenes where the action actually stops, and it takes time for breathing. And when the movie breathes, there's some great stuff in it as well. The performances all across the board are just fantastic. Tom Hardy as Max. Honestly, I'm gonna say this: Tom Hardy is vastly superior to Mel Gibson's Max. Yeah, there I said it. Yeah, even though Tom Hardy didn't have a lot of dialogue, he didn't talk much. That's actually one thing that makes this movie great, is that is the lack of dialogue. Meaning we wouldn't get any expositions. Expositions here, we wouldn't get any exposition dump. So good. I also love Nicholas Hoult in this one. And Zoe Kravitz and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. I did not think that they were in this film. And yes, also, like, I remember earlier when I said, when I talked about how people just hate seeing attractive women in film. Well, this film actually does have attractive female characters, especially with the splendid Anga Harad, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley's character. Damn, she is hot as hell. And Rosie Huntington-Whiteley is the same actress who played Carly in Transformers: Dark of the Moon, aka Sam's forgettable girlfriend. But honestly, I gotta say, she is way better in this movie. Also, Zoe Kravitz, I think this is her most underrated role. Like, yeah, sure, Catwoman is her best role, and I even prefer her in Fantastic Beasts. But but I still really like Zoe Kravitz in this one. And the villains in this film are great. And yes, guys, I actually now think Immortan Joe is the best Mad Max villain again. Yeah, that sum is great, but I think on reflection, Immortan Joe. When actually, Immortan Joe isn't even the best villain of the movie. The best villain of the movie is actually Rictus Erectus, Nathan Jones' character. Now, I love Immortan Joe, especially with his mascot thingy on, like that creepy thing. But Rectus Erectus, oh man, this guy's like a beast, man. And also, for some, is it just me or does he look a lot like Dwayne Johnson? Maybe because he's bald, but still, he gives me a lot of Dwayne Johnson vibes. And it got me thinking, maybe I think that Dwayne Johnson would actually make a perfect Mad Max villain. So, so I hope that. So I'm giving Warner Bros. An idea. I don't think Warner Bros. Is even watching this, but I already have an idea for the next Mad Max movie after Furiosa. Maybe the young Mad Max spin-off that was teased, I guess. But yeah, make Dwayne Johnson the villain of the next Mad Max movie. I think Dwayne Johnson would be perfect to play a Mad Max villain. I guarantee you. Yeah. But of course, you all know who I think is the best character of the film. Furiosa, Charlize Theron. Now, even though I'm very sure Anya Taylor-Joy would do better as Furiosa, Charlize Theron is still a perfect Furiosa. And this is without question her best role, period. And Furiosa is a perfect example of strong female. In fact, this felt more like Furiosa's movie than Max's movie. And Furiosa just earned everything. She's a badass, and she's like a no nonsense woman who just and she's a girl boss. She's like the perfect type of girl boss. There is a reason why when it comes to people saying that there are women out there that they love, they pick Furiosa as an example of that. And I'm glad. Hopefully, the same can apply with Anya Taylor-Joy's Furiosa. So yeah, and there are times when the movie can also get where you can actually connect with the characters as well. Oh yeah, Nicholas Hoult as well. Like Nicholas Holt's Knox is another standout of the movie, especially with the "Oh what a day, what a lovely day." Yeah, what a great line that is. And it is certainly a wonderful day for me to rewatch this. And tomorrow is going to be an even more wonderful day. You already know why. So overall, Mad Max Fury Road is a masterpiece of a film. It's a film with non-stop action, and it's got something that everyone can enjoy. Can enjoy, yeah, it's just perfect. So yeah, and I'm also glad that this movie won a lot of awards. In fact, this movie won the most awards with 7 awards. Every single, except for best visual effects, it won pretty much every visual, the technical category. Yeah, this movie, yeah, this is like the biggest Oscar winner in the Oscars 2016 when it comes to the categories. And so let me ask you this, Oscars, why didn't you award this for Best Picture? Oh, what's that? Because you actually hate action movies? That you actually wouldn't allow action movies to win Best Picture because you think, oh, that's impossible. We're never going to award action movies for Best Picture. And you decide to give the Oscar to an Oscar-bait movie. Now, I love Spotlight, but Spotlight, it ain't Mad Max Fury Road. I think this movie should have won Best Picture. So with that said, I'm going to give Mad Max Fury Road, of course, 5 stars out of 5. Best Mad Max movie ever. I still think Furiosa will top Mad Max Fury Road. I guarantee you. Yeah, Furiosa. You already know how much I'm hyped for Furiosa. It's even in my profile pic, like, for crying out loud. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Mad Max Fury Road? would you agree with me that this movie is a masterpiece and the best movie of 2015, or or are you one of those people who thinks that this movie is overrated, overhyped? And also, who agrees with me that Mad Max Fury Road should have won Best Picture over Spotlight? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on Furiosa. And also my Frozen Awards. I am already it's in the works, and also new chair style. So yeah, bye guys.